Hi, I'm Mike. Some days ranching is all about coming up with a solution for a problem and doing it in a way that you may never have thought of. Today we tackle a problem that I've had for years and solve it with the help of one subscriber and an easy and ingenious idea on the project list on our Wyoming Life. Welcome back to the project list. The board behind me holds a shrinking and growing list of the things that need done and the things that we've gotten done over the last few months on the ranch. And each time we take something off, well, something goes back up there and it never ends. Each Tuesday we take a look at something and we take it off the list and work on a project together. But today we do that in a whole new way as we take an idea from an email a subscriber sent to us and use that to solve a problem that I've had for years. Please subscribe and come along as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. Feeding the cows happens every day during the winter here on the ranch. Between the cows, the horses, the calves, the bulls, the pigs, and God knows what else, we feed more than 4,000 pounds of food per day to all the animals of the ranch. And most of that is in the form of hay. Hay that we harvested here on the ranch over the summer and store until it's time to feed in the winter. That hay is in the form of round bales, 5 feet wide, 5 feet tall, and each weighing about 1,400 pounds. All of that hay is held in the bale by net wrap, a webbed material that we cut off each bale before rolling it out for the cows to eat. I've had a bunch of folks ask me what we do with the net wrap once we cut it off the bale, and the first place it usually goes is into the cab of the tractor until we're done feeding. It's a giant pain. It's wrapped around your feet, it falls out, and it's always in the way. And when you're done feeding, you have to pull it all out of the tractor where it's tangled and can get wrapped up into everything. Then you carry it to the gator and eventually the incinerator. Over our years on the ranch, I have often thought about ways to take care of the net wrap once it's off the bale. I've debated finding a way to strap a garbage can or even a garbage bag to the tractor to hold it out of my way and something easier to deal with. Unfortunately, I've just never gotten around to fixing the problem permanently, and it was this week that I received an email from Robert who had the same problem. He created a bracket that bolts to his tractor, a bracket that holds an empty feed sack so he can use it as a makeshift garbage bag. He mentioned to me that it works great for net wrap, and it gives those empty feed sacks a new life, or at least another use, before we burn them. Robert, you are a genius. And today, after I got back from feeding, I knew that this was our project for the day. We have a bunch of extra strap steel laying around, and with it, we can begin to fashion some sort of cage, like Robert did for his tractor. Robert didn't send instructions, so first we can measure a feed bag and come up with some dimensions for our bracket. With a measurement of 16 inches long and 10 inches wide, we start with the base, made of 1/2-inch angle iron, and after cutting the pieces, we weld them together. Then it's over to the tractor to see how and where we can mount our bracket. Robert bolted his to his loader, but we don't have room to squeeze something in the front end of this tractor. On the bale roller, however, we have lots of room, and it's here where the net wrap is cut off the bale anyway, so it makes sense to mount it directly to the implement. With a location now picked out for the bracket, we can decide on a height of about 2 feet for the feed sack. Around the feed sack, we'll need braces, and we can bend our strap steel to make the holder. Vertical brackets are tack welded in place, and the horizontal brackets can be put in place as well. After a few adjustments, everything can be permanently welded in place. Then we cool the bracket with some cold water, and an old feed sack, this one that was used for cat food, is brought in place and set inside the bracket where it fits pretty well. But now it's time to attach it to the feeder. The feeder lowers to the ground, so the bracket has to be up high so it's not dragging while unrolling a bale. I could weld it in place, but it may be better to bolt it. And luckily we have some self-tapping bolts that might just do the job. If they can hold the high tunnels together in 70-mile-an-hour winds, they should be able to hold this light bracket to the bale roller. After popping in a pilot hole, a screw is put in place, and the whole contraption looks pretty good. But the real test is on the way as we head out to try it out and feed the cows.
Every singer needs a song. Every bell cries out to be around. Every dawn wanna wag its tail. Life ain't nothing but a pilgrim trail. Every message needs a dove, and everything grows with a drop of love. We're all hanging on tooth and nail. It's a rocky road, this pilgrim trail. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Sometimes heaven, sometimes hell. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Let's meet up down the pilgrim trail. For a sail, like every campfire needs a tale. We're on this freight train going down the rail. Together on this pilgrim's trail. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Sometimes heaven, sometimes hell. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Where everything is up for sale. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Let's meet up down the pilgrim trail.
And with a full bag of net wrap, it's just as easy as pulling it in the shop, grabbing the bag, and tossing it in the gator, where it'll stay until our next trip to the incinerator. Robert, thank you very much for lending me your idea and letting me run with it. You are right, it's a great way to get an extra use out of these feed sacks, and it makes sense for a number of uses. I hope that you're able to run right out and patent this idea, because I think it could really come in handy. It's another example of the ingenuity of ranchers and farmers. You see a problem, you fix it. And when it's on your project list, the faster you can get it done, the better. But remember, it's not going to end, because your project list isn't just a list, it's a challenge. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We've got some cool stuff on the way this week, including, for the first time ever, a rancher's look at the Impossible Burger, or the meatless meat, whatever you want to call it. It's coming up this week, along with a whole lot more. And if you don't want to miss it, make sure you subscribe and continue to explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. Until next time, have a great week, and thanks for joining us on our Wyoming Life.